Hi everyone, this is Jilly, Little Zen Crone. How is everyone? So seriously, I am filming this on a Tuesday evening because I know that tomorrow, which is the day before Thanksgiving in the United States, I am going to be in the throes of baking several pies and a cake. So I wanted to get this done for you guys today. And I've done something a little different again. So for those of you who are not watching Jen's Balanced Tarot on Sundays at 1:30 Eastern Time, she is doing a series called Tarot Playdate, in which we are going, she draws a random card from the RWS deck every week, and we as a group live chat about that card, what it means to us, what the symbolism means, and then there's always an activity that you can do during the week to connect with your cards. If you're not tuned into that, please go over and check it out. It's really a lot of fun. And of course, if 1:30 Eastern is not a time that works for you, you can always watch the replay. Anyway, not this past week, but the week before, there was an activity called a dinner party with our cards. And just, I think the last Wednesday Tarot Wisdom I did a reading for a hectic day in which I chose to have tea with 3 of the ladies from my favorite deck. Well, I was thinking about Thanksgiving dinner and what I had talked about in Zen Without Walls this week about taking things personally and, really how to communicate with family and the angst that going to what should be a lovely family dinner sometimes puts us through. And I thought I would come up with a spread about that, so I did. So get ready, have a cuppa, because this could be a long one. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 card spread. And it doesn't matter the way you throw the cards out on your table. You can stick them in a row. You can put them in a pretty design. Whatever you want to do, you just go with that. The first 2 positions of the spread are cards that I picked from the deck. Now, I am using, of course, my Druidcraft Tarot. This is the deck. This is my go-to deck. This is the deck that's closest to my heart. This is the deck that I love to read with. This is a deck that I have a pretty good understanding of, although I'm not sure that I'll ever grasp all this symbolism in it. But anyway, this is the deck that I go to. So the first thing I want you to do is to go through your deck, and I want you to grab a card that represents you. And then I want you to grab a card that represents your family. Now, if you are going out to, if it's a particular person that you want the card to represent, then pick a card that represents you and that person. So for me, I picked the card to represent me as the Queen of Swords. This is my favorite card in this deck, and it's a card that I look for in every deck that I purchase. I love this queen because she, as the queen, is the most mature embodiment of her suit. And the swords represent challenges in communication, and specifically an intellect. So specifically why I chose her is because she knows she's witty, she's funny, She can also have a sharp tongue. She has also had a few rodeos with having her heart hurt. And so she's got her sword across her heart. She's open to people. She's not a recluse. She's open to situations. So she's open to this family dinner, but she's protecting herself too. And I think, and what I would like to think about myself at this time in my life is that I have learned kind of when to hold my words in, or I'd like to think that I have learned how to communicate more effectively, not get so heated up in the emotion of the moment, because that can happen quite easily. And then the card that I've chosen for my family, when I'm talking about my family, I'm not talking about my children, my husband. I'm talking about my family of origin, my father, my sister, my, that family. And this is the card I've chosen for them because it's constant conflict. And sometimes the conflict, and I'm sorry, my heat just went on, but sometimes the conflict is conflict just for conflict's sake, and not anything that is really of consequence, but it just has that energy of just, conflict. Okay, so those are the two cards. All right, so then the next card I have is the influence or the energy around this dinner. So let's shuffle the cards. See what the cards have to say about the influence or the energy around this dinner. And I'm just going to cut. We're going to make this pretty easy. Oh gosh, this is interesting. So the Four of Pentacles. So if I were going to, the first words that came to my head were holding back. So the energy around this dinner is an energy of holding back. Now, pentacles generally are about material things. So this could be, it could be about holding back material things. But in this reading, I want to say that this is about they're holding back too. So it's almost a situation where we'd all be sitting there sort of playing nice with each other, sort of because, it's the thing to do. I want to get more information, so let's go with the next card, which is I have how to deal with my feelings. Let's see. That is the Budster behind me. He's just taken a nap, so he's getting huffy, and it's also getting to be his dinner time. So hopefully we get through this reading without too much of a fuss. All right. Okay, how to deal with my feelings. So what we get is Sir Nunan, the god of the underworld. And what this is telling me is don't obsess. Don't obsess. Do not get obsessed and caught up with that storyline that's going on in my head about how people are or how people react. Or you know how sometimes you make up the story in your head and you say, well, you know, she's always that way or he's always that way. Okay, so I'm thinking that this card is telling me to drop that story. To not get into that round and round, that cycle in my head that can happen. Okay. The next position I have written down is what to avoid. Oh, and that one flew out. The Ace of Cups. So what, because this cup is overflowing, I know that the cup means like a new situation, a new a lot of times, you know, it's a new emotional situation, a new love, or a new love interest, or a new friendship, or a new something. But if I'm looking at what to avoid, see how the cup is overflowing. So to me, this is telling me not to get over emotional, not to get over emotional one way or the other. Stay the middle path. Oh, if you could see this dog right now and the position that he is in. Buddy, he's okay. The next one is a card that I've called my safe haven. What is my safe haven? What can I don't know, what can I depend on? Where can I go to find safety? And you might be thinking, why would you want to go to a dinner like this? And honestly, I'm not. I'm having my close family here, but I recently had to go to a family dinner. Ah, okay. My safe place is the Lord, which is the Emperor. So this to me can mean a couple of things. So in my family, the Emperor would be my husband. So he's my safe place. And he is my safe haven, my safe place. He's my best friend, you know. So he's the person that I go to. He's my defender. Believe me, I can defend myself as well, but he's the person, you know, he sticks up for me. He believes in me. So there's that. But also, if we think about the Emperor on a deeper level, and we think about the Emperor in terms of structure and rules and routine, in my family of origin, when we get together, we are very nice to each other. We don't get into anything that's real, touchy. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. It's a very superficial kind of conversation, and it's very nice. So my safe haven can be that. My safe haven can be the structure of that, and knowing that things will not get out of hand, most probably. Even though they're, I told you that this card represents my family to me, this is really an undercurrent. So this is what's really there. And what's on the outside is kind of this niceness. So I can look for safety in my husband. Did you guys ever see Four Christmases? And they have their escape word. We have an escape word. Yeah. Okay. My safe haven. And then the last card I have, because I'm me, it's what can I learn? What can I learn from this dinner? What can I learn about myself? What can I learn about to take forward with me? What can I learn to take forward with me so I don't come out of there feeling, I don't know, defeated, or like, why bother, or anything, those kinds of feelings that we can sometimes get when we're in a situation that's stressful for us. And it's the Eight of Wands. And if I'm reading this card intuitively, the words that came into my head were go forward. Find your mark and go toward it. And by mark, I don't mean Mr. Honey. I mean, find your goal. Regain your goal. What's your goal in life? And go towards that. Shoot your arrows toward that. And for me, that's my family that I've created. And when I talk about the family that I've created, I talk about my best and dearest friend who's like a sister to me. I love to spend time with her, and she is like an aunt to my children. I think about my daughters and my son who, they have their way of being with each other right now, but that I know that I've created or helped to create this closeness between them. And that I just absolutely love when my kids come home. I love when they come to visit us. And I love when they, I love sitting around and talking. And I love our banter back and forth. And I love that I know that we can discuss, here we go, important things, and that it's okay. So, just as the dog starts to bark his head off, I hope that this reading, I hope that this was a good reading for you. Like this, this may... Shh. Come here. Sit down. Oh, that's a good boy. Okay, Mama's almost done. I'm almost done, so just hang it up. Come here, sit. I hope that this helped. And, I did this reading specifically for me this week, so I'm hoping that you'll go ahead and do it for yourself. And if you do, let me know how it went. Let me know how the positions, the spread positions went, and I will list those all down in the description box below. Thanks for putting up with the Budster. I'm going to go and let him out now. Everyone have a blessed Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care, everyone. Be kind to each other. Bye-bye.